Hi, I'm TechRitter Omega, and welcome to Beneath Floes. Also, guess who's doing a recording the day before it's due? Well, technically it'll be tomorrow, which is the day you'll see this, in about 10 minutes. It's almost midnight here. What am I gonna do? Be on time? Oh, ideally, yes. Okay. I don't really know what this is, but it looked interesting, so I downloaded it. My cousin was a deaf child. Oh, actually, I have a vague idea of what it is. It's about something. And it was done kind of like how Hornets is done. I don't know if it's done, but whenever I say it's done like Hornets is done, do not assume I mean, oh, it's copying Hornets. Hornets is just probably the first game I've seen that's actually done it like this, but that does not mean it was the first. I don't care. It's irrelevant. Let's go. My cousin was a deaf child. One time he went alone to the lake to take feathers from loons so that he could become a bird. Okay, I already have a few questions. I'm not going to ask them though. He did not know the stories of the Kalupilik. Kalupilik, I guess, is that our monster of the day, who watched him from under the ice. The Kalupilik started to hum, but my cousin could not hear. He gathered all the feathers, the loose ones, even the feathers still on the loons, then turned to leave. The Kalupilik grabbed him with her long nail. She shoved him screaming into her amauti, and dove into the waters. That's why, in the summer, there are always feathers on the lake. This is a true story, not a tale. Author not recorded, 1883. Oh, I thought that would continue. 1884. Okay, so they don't know when it was said either. Alright. Beneath Floes. Let me just make sure. If this looks really weird at any point, it's because this game is off to the left of the HTML document that it's in, so I tried to center it in my recording software. Hopefully that'll work. Hopefully some of these texts won't get too long and slide off the page. If that happens, sorry, I'll be reading it to you. The pictures are probably what you're meant to be looking at anyways. Let me tell you a story. This is a story about you, but these are not— why are you telling me the story of me? Oh, but these are not my experiences. Okay, so it's different me. Still, I want to hear your voice. Let's start small. Do you prefer a white moon? Don't worry, there are no bad choices here. While you've made up your mind, I'll begin the story. What are my choices? White, a red moon, a blue moon. If I choose red, will it change the color of the picture? I'll begin the story. Yes, it will! Impressive. Ominous. That'll work well with this story. Okay, settle in and listen. 50 years ago, only a child, you wandered the shoreline in the dark season, as your mother had warned you never to. Your boots anchor in the crunchy snow. This is the shore where, in the summer, your brother caught his first fish. It hadn't been a whale, but for weeks he acted intolerable with pride. Isn't that just how things go? Now there's no one here, and no one could interrupt your own search. You don't reach the water before you and find what you came for. Oh, you don't reach the water before you find what you came for. That makes more sense. I was confused. A labeled can embedded in the earth. I'm looking for cans? Do I collect cans? Impervious to wind and ice. Your hearts, yes, all of them. Your heart grows 10 sizes, filled with possibilities. It could be new or too worn. Maybe you already have this one. You seize the can. It must be recent because the snow inside is soft. Your mouth curls at a small tear on the label, but at least the art is pristine. A smiling Kalunag offers you canned meat product. Do you toss this one? You consider your options. There could be better cans to take back to the settlement. Toss or hold on to? Let's toss it. I don't know. I wonder if these will change anything. You toss the can. Your collection has too many labels that stare directly at you, like they have terrible secrets they want to share, and it's getting uncomfortable. No more. You declare a ban on printed Kalunat. I don't know what that is. Besides, the best cans are found in the water. Down the shore, a dark mass lies still on the flow edge. The chance for another can draws you closer. You step forward. The ice crunches under your feet. 1, 2, 3. Oh, steps. An unknown other inhabits your body like an unwelcome visitor. It seizes your chest, your mind. We got some ghost humming. You get out of here, you ghost humming lady. You hear it in my bones. I feel it in my bones? Do I hear it in my bones? Ooh. Look at them fingernails. Another night, another story. Wait, are we gonna go back to that? The thing that Okay, your mother tells you bed stories about broken shores, cannibals taller than men, fish mothers under the sea. She works in your favorite flourishes, even the silly ones. Her brother feels the Kalupalik's long black nails grip his ankles. Your mother pauses the story, seems distracted, then grabs your feet. You jolt like a bearded seal. She got you this time. This is worse than death. Getting your ankles grabbed while someone's telling you a story, I don't think that's comparable to being dead, or worse than being dead. I don't know, I've never been dead, except for that one time, but that was a different story. Your favorite stories are about Kiviuk, because he's as strong as Superman. She knows this, but she says some stories must be told. Strong, brave, strong, why not? Some stories must be told, my little aunt. I'm your aunt? Aunt? You prefer this name over E5 at 1x48, the Kalunat's name for you. You never met your aunt, but your mother compares you to her often. Oh, I can change E6. 2-7. Alright, let's be E6 because I want to. Frost falls from the roof. Sleep comes. Ooh, it's coming out of the water. This must be our Kalupalik friend. Another night, another story. Your mother tells you bed stories about endless storms, a community without anuses, the origins of narwhals. Hopefully the community without anuses and the origins of narwhals, and possibly also the endless storms, are not related. I really hope not. She works in your favorite flourishes, even the vulgar ones. Her cousin hears a distant hum and runs 10 miles to rock tripe. Your mother pauses the story, raises her hands, then resumes where she left off. You expect her to tickle you or some other unfathomable act. Ever since you became conscious, you lived with weak limbs. There's nothing to be done about it. She knows this and rubs your back each night to console you. It's said that your father shot a caribou and failed to kill it, but that's one person's belief, not a well-liked individual either. Pained knees, frequent panic, sure, why not? Frequent panic. The Kulik warms the house. Sleep comes. I don't know. There's a lot of cues in this, whatever we're speaking. I don't know what we're speaking. Another night, another story. Your mother tells you bed stories about loon tongues, the consequences of revenge, why the moon is cold. She works in your favorite flourishes, even the melancholy ones. Her aunt sees the Kalupalik's hooked nose. Hooked, bulbous, and button. Let's go for hooked. Before she slides down the slimy, bottomless walls of an amauti. What is an amauti? I do not know what an amauti is. Your mother pauses the story, leans in close. Then pulls your nose. No, is nothing sacred in this world. There was a time when she told these stories and didn't describe the Kalupalit. Such details were left for you to envision. Oh, it's Kalupalit, not Kalupalik. Such details were left for you to envision. Why infringe upon your young imagination? But you listen more attentively, even eagerly, when she includes them. She knows this and adapts the stories. She covers you in blankets. Sleep comes. Oh, are we going back to the, You hear an ancient sound. Yeah, we're back here again. Alright. I hear it in my bones. 50 years ago, only a child, you encounter a Kalupalik. Oh, no, it is a Kalupalik. In the dark season, as your mother had hoped you never would. Hello! There she is. She slowly pulls herself onto the flow. You can't turn your head away. The unknown other makes you step forward. Get out of my body, please. 1, 2, 3 steps. You feel the terror subside. The terror is welling up in my nose. I'm gonna sneeze soon. Hopefully, possibly. I don't know. Maybe 4, 5... 6 steps. You realize the truth. It spreads through you until you've always known it. Until it is the only thing you've ever known. To feel safe again, move closer. I would not move closer to that. Look at it's got glowing eyes! Glowing eyes and some sort of torrent of hair over there. You are near enough that she inhabits every sense. She smells like seal rot, or the drowned corpses they sometimes pull from the sea. I mean, she looks it, too. You are inches from her touch, inches from safety. As she reaches out to take you, the unknown other flees. The fog inside your head clears. The terror you need protection from is before you. You run. But as you turn, intense panic coils around your chest. Okay, so if I'd changed to one of those other things, I assume that would be different. You can't hold yourself up and fall quietly onto the floe, where the ice burns your skin. You prepare to be taken, like in all the stories, to become only a warning for the other children. In these last moments, which are always vain, you hope the storytellers say you had muscles like Superman. Or Kiviuk. Kiviuk was the other one. Ooh. Kiviuk. I noticed it appears up there. Why can I do it up there? Alright, we're just gonna leave it at Superman, because why not? You prepare to be taken. Off we go! Into adventure! A moment passes and another. The ice still burns your cheeks. No nails embrace you, no Amaudi cover. What is an Amaudi? No water drowns you. The ancient sound fades to echoes deep in your memories. You crawl back from the Kalupalik, who paws after you like a caged hound. She looks so sad. Her black nails hold to the ice. Why doesn't she follow you? Take you. You crawl further back. She can reach far. Her face is familiar, comforting. You've seen her hooked nose 100 times, beneath blankets near a warm kulik. Is it a kulik of fire, or like a equivalent of one? While frost falls from the roof. This is the Kalupalik from your mother's stories. Did you create her with those flourishes? You feel an uncertain connection with her, like distant kin. She doesn't move. She seems wounded. How do you wound these? You wonder about the hums, if they're stories she tells children. The oldest stories of all. You stole yourself from her, like a thief would take food. So for her, you'll steal a different child. Do I get any say in this? That became a little tense. Let me tell you a joke. What do you call a penguin in Pang Nirthong? I don't know what that is, but it's probably a place. Lost. Haha, I didn't come up with that. I found it on the internet. I can tell. One of those great websites that has animated pictures. Settle in, I'll continue the story. Please do. 50 years ago, only a child, you set up a fox trap in the dark season as your father had never taught you to. Are we gonna... Is this gonna tie back to the lady coming to drag me into the abyss? Or failing to drag me into the abyss. The steel is colder than the ground. You found this trap under the house, where time and disuse buried it underneath frost. Sometimes hunters take them out on the land and return with bundles of animals to sell. The levers took a while to puzzle out, but now it's ready. Near the settlement, the dogs whimper and howl on their chains. You heard them less and less. Most children are at the school. A Kalunok idles in the claustrophobic spaces created by the plywood houses. Kalunok. Wait, what's the other one then? There's so much Kali something. You never go near them. They only smile on labels. What is a Kalunok? He hoards the best comic in his cans. Superman. The cover shows Superman having trouble with Kalunat. Kalunat. Kalunat the police? Sometimes he doesn't wear Kalunat clothes to hide his Krypton origins. And this gets them thoroughly flustered. You seize the comic, trying not to tear any pages. As you turn to run, the Kalunok's face... Let me go look up what a Kalunok is. Give me a second. Okay, apparently a Kalunok is a... Oh, shit. Apparently a Kalunok is a person, like a non-Inuit, who would... Particularly of, Why do I hear dogs whispering? Particularly of, of European descent, sorry. I was distracted by the dogs whimpering in my ear. Did they mention dogs? Were there dogs mentioned? Did I ignore them? Why are there dogs whimpering in my ears? As you turn to run, the Kalunok's face contorts into a caricature of rage, with brows curved like knives, yeah. With brows curved like knives, a nose scrunched so close to his forehead that it becomes an old man. The Kalunok chases after you. Already your chest tightens from stress. Every step could be the moment when your body abandons you. You push out, thoughts of the Kalunok tackling you, pummeling you, telling the police as you pass between the houses out toward the shore. The Kalunok follows you over a hill. You can't run anymore. You lower yourself to the ground. The most you can manage and watch the most you can manage and watch the Kalunok run towards you. 1, 2, 3 steps. The Kalunok is near. What was the other one called? What was the monster called? There's so many Q's in whatever we're speaking. 4, 5. Oh shit. 6 steps. Let me tell you a story. I just led a kid into a fox trap? Can we get back to that? Oh god. Let me tell you a story. So currently, I led a kid into a fox trap, and the other one I led was I am getting abducted, or almost abducted by sea demons. So, this is not a good time to tell a different story. This is a story about the hill you trapped the Kalunok on. Okay, so it's sort of relevant. It's an old story. No one alive knows the people involved. I read it in a journal kept by an anthropologist who didn't record the performer's name. 200 years ago, beneath the cold moon, 5 hunters turned into dogs to go out on the land. One hunter is crippled. She limps on a lame paw. She keeps up with the pack until they find a bear so quick it leaves no tracks. They chase the bear day and night, and the lame dog falls behind. The 4 dogs surround the bear, bark and snap and bare their teeth, but the 4 of them alone can't slow it down. The shadow underneath the bear grows as it leaves the ground. The bear reaches this hill, where it shoots up to the sky. The 4 dogs follow. All at once they become luminous and chase the bear across the stars, the lame dog forever behind. Why did I tell you that story? It's hard to say. The silences in the record leave many holes. Why did the dogs leave their friend behind? What did the performer want us to feel? Did the polar bear have a cute little nose? That is an irrelevant question. We'd have to live a century ago, in that time and place, hear the subtle shifts of tone in the performers' voices. That would be 2 centuries ago. See their arms wave and feel their feet stomp. It wouldn't be enough for us to inhabit the anthropologist's mind, because in their beliefs, it didn't matter who performed the story or how. The performer's words were salvaged from a culture thought to be near extinction. So when we hear this story, we have to breathe into it our own modern fears and loneliness. Let me tell you what I think. I think corporations chased their engineered warmth north, where the endless sun gave them new avenues for profit. The bear knew when to get out. The dogs, being hunters and not shareholders, left their friend behind because no one wants to starve. I think the crippled hunter had no choices left after the wealthy developed the environment around her, constructed it, defined her worth solely by if she could kill a bear or not. This got really, kind of off about the rest of the shit we were talking about, like completely unrelated, entirely. And I think the distances between those stars isn't a distance of space, get it? But a warning about the future, to understand the history behind the social distances between us. But those are my tedious beliefs. Maybe those stars are ostriches. I disagree. What future do I create when I tell tragedies? Here's what matters. When you trapped the Kalonok, you hadn't heard the history of the hill, so you couldn't imagine other futures. We can't know how you might have looked into the story, like a mirror, or turned away. Maybe this future will work out fine. The police don't find out, use you to justify abuse. Maybe not. But in this story, your story, you always trapped the Kalonok. 50 years ago, only a child, you ensnared a Kalonok in the dark season, as your parents had never known you would. I didn't think they would. You try to remember how you originally imagined this situation. Did the Kalonok pass out, bow down, and declare you his superior? You're not sure how to get him to the shore. The Kalonok struggles in the trap. A thought comes. What if he wants to be dragged under the sea, to live forever with a woman who swells like sea rot? You decide to ask. You shout after the Kalonok. The nails aren't so bad, and you get used to the fish smell. He doesn't respond. Some folks can't be reasoned with. The kid is stuck in a fox trap. He has bigger priorities than talking to me right now. You have some leverage, because surely he wants to know the ending to this Superman comic in your hands. Also, there's a rock by your feet. Is that relevant? Do you persuade him? A tough decision. Oh, do I knock him out? Okay. I'm gonna persuade him. I don't like to, hit kids over the head with a rock after he's stuck in a fox trap. You wave the Superman comic in the air and hope it doesn't come across like a taunt. The Kalonok slides out of his trap boot and limps after you. You drop the comic and run toward the shore. You make it to the floe edge. Your chest is filled with boulders and the Kalonok is close behind. Frozen platforms lead out into the sea. You close your eyes and leap. When you land on the floe, the wet ice cracks underneath your boots. You slip and slam onto the platform behind you. The Kalonok is determined to follow. You pick yourself up and leap. Crack. You and the Kalonok advance into the sea, one floe at a time. What's the other one called then? It was Kalu something. Crack. Crack. One of these is gonna be my neck, or his neck, or both of our necks. Or we're both just gonna die. Crack with ghostly humming of demons. Crack. Crack. I wonder if I'd be doing this if he wasn't, What am I looking at? Oh, I fell in. I fell in. Uh-oh. I'm gonna freeze to death down here. Hello. 50 years ago, only a child, Kalupalik, that was it, took you beneath the floes as you had never known you wanted. Sometimes when your brother comes to fish, you tap the ice beneath his feet, wondering if he knows it's you. You watch him grow old without you and pass on. The wound feels fresh on your ageless skin. But as decades pass, you feel safer under the ice than in the settlement. The Kalupalik takes care of you, loves you, and grow close with the children she captures. You bury your toes into the seafloor and settle in for a tale. The Kalupalik oldest time always has more stories. Our tales are narratives of human experience, and therefore they do not always tell of beautiful things, but one cannot both embellish a tale to please the hearer, and at the same time to keep the truth. The tongue should be the echo of that which must be told, and it cannot be adapted according to the moods and the tastes of man. Do you think there's other endings depending on what I choose? I'll be back. I'm gonna go find out. I'm gonna go choose, weak limbs. And I wonder if the moon color changes anything. I'll choose weak limbs, and then I'll see what happens. And if there's something after that, I'll edit weak limbs and whatever the other one was. Pained knees. Okay, I'll be back. Oh, okay, I'm an idiot. It does say that there were dogs and whimper and howl on their chains, and I watched back through the footage, and I read that out loud. How did I not notice that? Alright, I'll be back again. Okay, so the weak limbs thing changes a little bit of the dialogue, but it's really just wherever it said I was having panic attacks, I was having weak limbs. My limbs were giving out or something like that. So, nothing significant. Let's just keep jumping. You and the Kolonak advance into the sea, one flow at a time. Several cracks later. This one has a bulbous nose. Still black nails, though, but a bulbous nose. I don't think that changes anything, but I could be wrong. Crack. Crack. Ooh? This is definitely different. Oh. But... okay. Stole the kid. Kid does not seem to give the slightest amount of a fuck that he was being dragged underwater. 50 years ago, only a child, you watched the Kalupalik take the Kolonak beneath the floes, as you had hoped she would. You return to the settlement. The police use the investigation to act even crueler towards your kin, but quietly conclude months later that the Kolonak wandered the shoreline and drowned. One night, you throw the Superman comic into the water for him to read, after you trace all the artwork. You return often and hope you'll hear the hum, but the years turn you too old for the company of lonely fishwomen. Your children listen to your bed stories about brothers and sisters, moon men, and wounded Kalupalit. You always work in their favorite flourishes. Oh, is the Amlaut thing the bag that was on her back? Alright. One more time. We'll do the white moon this time. Wait, what did I do that time? I'm pretty sure I did the white moon, didn't I? Oh, fuck. I'll go watch through the footage again. Alright, so this time I tried to hit him with a rock. It's hard, and the thought of hitting someone with it capsizes your stomach. The Kolonak slides out of his trap boot. Okay, so I don't actually get to knock him out, so that decision doesn't matter. I'll be back when I get to the important part. Okay, we're back at the important part. You pick yourself up and leap! Crack! You and the Kolonak advance into the sea, one flow at a time. So this time I have pained knees, and the moon is blue. I don't think it really matters. I don't know if it's the whatever I have, like the disability I have, or the moon color that changes the ending. Crack. Crack. Oh, I'm underwater again. Okay. So I don't think it's any of those things. I guess having, weak limbs keeps you alive. I already read this. I'm gonna run through this one more time, just to make sure. Because, this is weird. I don't know if it's randomly determining the ending I get, or if I'm actually affecting it. Here, let me try weak limbs again. Okay, we're back again. Weak limbs once again. If I survive this, then I'm gonna have to do it one more time because it might be alternating. Because, yeah, it might be alternating. It might be alternating whether I die or he dies. Or whether I get dragged under or he gets dragged under. We're about to find out. I think it's random. I think it's completely random whether you get chosen or he gets chosen. Huh. Well, that's interesting. Anyways. This has been really fun. I wasn't expecting it to go off on several tangents that seemed unrelated. Like, the one about the hill specifically didn't seem to tie back. I mean, the trapping the kid didn't really either tie back into getting eaten or dragged under by this thing. This thing stole a baby? Really? I mean, completely fine. I mean, we're all being taken care of, it seems. We all have demon eyes. She just takes people, and they come down here, and got that sack on her back, which was like an ablaut or something like that. Anyways, this was fun. This was fun. I had to replay it quite a few times to try and figure out if that changed anything, but in the end, I don't think it mattered. I think it just kind of determines nothing at all. I don't know. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're done here. Or not ladies and gentlemen. Just we're done here. Fuck it. We're done. Get out. Oh yes, and before I forget, if you heard any crackling throughout this video or any of my previous or future videos, my headset does that sometimes. I do not know why. I think it's one of the wire. It has a mute mic button on the wire itself, and I think something in there is, I don't know, causing some problems. So, until I get an actual microphone, I do apologize about that. Yeah, sorry.